Hey, everybody. It's Allie Cox. Welcome back to the Farm to Fame podcast. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm exactly 4 days post Cannes Lions and still have jet lag and still recovering with like good and back to the grind sort of things here at Noble West. And I wanted to just have a little one-on-one time. Haven't done this since my intro. I've had some incredible guests so far. So thank you to everybody who's been watching. I think we're on guest number 9 and just best in class experts from agriculture to marketing to agencies to brand innovation to commodity board expertise. So I am actually accomplishing exactly what I set out to do. So thank you for everybody who's helping, and thank you for everybody who's sharing and watching. But I thought, as I mentioned, I would come on talk a little bit about Cannes Lions. And for those of you who are not familiar, it is a massive creativity award show and movement and experience that happens in Cannes. Maybe some of you might think it's pronounced as Cannes, but it is Cannes, like a Pepsi can. And it happens every year. It's an annual award show and beautiful setting. It's always hotter than you know what, and 50% humidity. So there's always that to contend with. But this has been on my goal list for about 10 years to go. It's obviously something that as an agriculture marketer is not super top of mind, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. But as I'm reflecting on the incredible experience that I had, there are two main things that come to mind. The first is just the unbelievable importance in community and making friends with your colleagues and making friends with your competitors and just building and supporting others. I have two main kind of sources of I would say community builders that I want to talk to you about. So the first is building community and finding community and being a good member of your community and frankly, just being a friend. And then the second thing I want to talk about is just the opportunity within our industry. At Cannes, I had a really, really kind of mission moment while I was there. I had a lot of ahas about what we're doing here at Noble West and why we exist and what we're looking to accomplish. I had so many lean in moments when people learned who I was and what I did and why I was there and why I'm part of the advertising and marketing industry. It was just frankly, just very validating and inspiring. And it makes me just want to continue to raise the bar and find new theirs and find new ways to tell this unbelievable story that we call a hero food ingredient story, and to work with our clients who are the origin sources of food and just find new ways to connect. So want to talk about that. So if I dive into community, this is something where I would say probably just like showing up at Cannes for the first time as like a newbie to the industry might be a little tough. I had sort of some nice constructs of an agenda. Of course, I don't think anybody would ever accuse me of being a rule follower, but I did follow quite a few rules. So I want to just give a shout out to our PR agency at Mark Allen PR, because they did a great job shepherding and wrangling me and finding new opportunities and making connections. So thank you to the crew, to Kurt and to Melanie and Mark and Isha and Scott and everybody kind of behind the scenes. Thank you so much. But back to community. So I don't know if showing up to Cannes, I think while it could be inspiring and could be exciting, without kind of a roadmap or kind of goals set for it, it could be super overwhelming. And honestly, it is so friggin' hot there and humid. And again, I'm somebody who comes from the heat in the Central Valley, so 100 plus days are no biggie, but we don't really have humidity, right? And frankly, I don't typically walk around outside all day long unless I maybe at baseball or something else, or working on the farm or working on the ranch or whatnot. We all know I don't garden, so there's that. But the plan that I had was really just to be open to new experiences, stick to my schedule, not go rogue, and to really, really come prepared and focused and to prioritize the 3 panels that I was on. So, that was kind of my plan. But the real special sauce, I think, of course, getting on stage and talking about what I love and answering questions about the opportunities I see is great. But there's 2 communities that I really find a lot of home in, particularly and have over the last 3 to 4 years. This has been new. This has like probably been one of the biggest blessings and frankly, just aha moments of my career now that I'm 20 plus years in, is joining Worldwide Partners, which is an association of independently owned marketing and advertising and PR and digital and plus types of agencies globally. So I believe we have over 100 partners in 44 plus countries, with a large contingent of those agencies being in the United States. Worldwide Partners led me to lots of friends, including my business partner, Kate Holgate, who I appreciate dearly. It also has just opened up so many ideas, mentorship, and just like as a specialty agency, a little bit of aspiration, right? Because I would say that we're not one of the smallest agencies in Worldwide Partners. There are smaller, but we are definitely boutique. There's also agencies that are like, hundreds and hundreds of people around the world. And I find a lot of like inspiration in how those leaders and founders and CEOs run their business. But we hosted, I was invited to a brunch that Gene Freeman, who is the founder and CEO of Zambezi, and Christy Heiler, who is the CEO of Cornet in Knoxville, Tennessee, hosted. They are the founders of this incredible, let's call it a movement at the moment, called Own It, which is really just and I've been on the Own It podcast. So if you're interested in this, there's an incredible podcast called Own It that Christy hosts, and I was a guest kind of early on. But this is where female founders and female owners of agencies, not just founders, but owners of agencies, find a lot of community. And this is, I know, a shocking statistic, but as of now, only 1% of agencies in the United States are owned by women, which just blows my mind, especially because the majority of the marketing that we're doing is all purchased by women. So there's lots of things there that I cannot wait to be part of the solution for. But really, when I had brunch with, I think there was like 30 or 40 owners at this incredible, beautiful villa in the hills of Cannes, that again, hot as heck, and love that like half the people like put their feet in the pool during the brunch because it was so hot. But just beautiful food, beautiful ingredients, incredible fruit. I don't think I've ever had like a fluorescent yellow plum before, or a tiny apricot. There was a variety I've never had before, which, my family grows apricots. So that was an aha moment. Just incredible food, incredible conversation, and just inspiration. And I met so many women that I am such big fans of, and incredible agencies. And not just because they're owned by women and they're women founded or whatnot, but just incredible business women who I just really tip my hat off to, and just find so much inspiration in, and just smart, kind, giving, interesting, dynamic women who just want to do great work with other great people, with great brands. And so super special. So spend a lot of time with Own It, spend a lot of time with Gene, and really just like kind of learn from the best, frankly, the best in the business, and people who have scaled companies faster than I have, and also people who are interested in what I'm doing as a specialty owner, right? A lot of people at Cannes are large CPG creative shops or media shops or branding shops, but they are not necessarily too many specialty industry shops. I would say maybe pharma, might be, lots of beverage agencies were there. But I will say that as soon as I mentioned to everybody kind of, oh, what do you do? Oh, my name is Allie. I'm from California, and I am a specialty shop owner. My agency specializes in agriculture, food ingredients, and sustainability. And literally everybody's like, wait a minute, what do you do? Can you say it again? And it's just such a moment. And inevitably somebody like, we have a food client and we're not quite sure what to do with them. Or if it's outside of a big campaign that is meant to move a lot of numbers in a general way, it's hard to know how to connect with the audiences and what does the audience want to hear. So just incredible conversations that filled my cup, and just kind of network building in a way that, like, truly, even 6 years ago, going into COVID, I had no idea that where my future was going. I just knew that I was going to be focused on expansion and expanding my mind, expanding my presence, and let's be honest, expanding my financial capacity so that I could reinvest in this company, and just really double down on that. And it's just been an awesome thing to experience. Okay, so again, go to Own It, follow it. If there are any women who own agencies here, please go to the Own It website and get yourself on the directory so that we can all find you and we can hang out with you, and really just get an active total of how many women-owned shops are in the country. Okay, my second big can takeaway is that, and again, this comes from, I sat on 3 panels with incredible professionals who are wonderful, and every question that came to me about branding, or what could happen if a brand goes wrong, or why do you build a brand, or how do you build a confident brand? Also questions about like women's sports and like kind of leaning into my Olympic background, but really just enjoyed being able to like share my perspective on the questions about brand building with a food and agricultural bent. And I got lots of questions and lots of people asking for more, and truly met so many people who were like, I would love to know more about that. So definitely new friends. And I think just to like put a pin in it, I think like, if I think like, why haven't more agencies that are focused in agriculture or kind of provide a similar thing to us? Like, why aren't they here at Cannes? Well, you know what? Because they have to sort of make a reason for wanting to connect with consumers more. And like my personal POV on this is like, if we don't invest and communicate about the food ingredient values to consumers through campaign work, through brand building, through education, through storytelling, through savvy digital media, by supporting brands that are really, really invested in the qualitative ingredient experience, then what are we doing? Like then we're literally just telling, then it's really, instead of about the authentic story of what the food quality is, it's really more about just like it's more about the packaging. It's more about the experience. And trust me, I love that. There's nothing that I don't about it. But okay, I went through and read I did a little total of all of the winners of the incredible awards. So there's 30 categories with 5 tracks at the Cannes Lions Awards. And someday Noble West is going to win an award. We did not apply this year, but you know what? We're open to it. I think that a couple things to take away. So Heinz ketchup, I want to give a shout out to Heinz. I have it on very good accord where most of their tomato paste comes from. So that means I know where most of their tomatoes are grown, which, spoiler alert, it's in the Fresno area. But just a shout out to Heinz ketchup. I believe that they applied for quite a few different categories and they won 2 to 3 different awards. So shout out, really one of the only ingredient brands that won. And it has a hero food ingredient. Of course, the tomato is that hero food ingredient. So shout out to them. A couple in the health category, there were a few different food companies. One from Tokyo called Ajinomoto. That is a brand that I just went and researched. I'm like, good job, good on you. You're in the wellness sort of ingredient space. Of course, there were the McDonald's and the Burger Kings and whatnot, and good on them. Lots of different bev. I do want to give a shout out to a new friend of mine, Darcy, the VP of marketing from Maple Leaf Foods. He is I would say a worldwide partner fellow client. He works with Fuse Create in Toronto, but they won an award. I had dinner with Darcy and he mentioned first award at Cannes Lions, so super special. It was a campaign called Look for the Leaf. And of course it's from Maple Leaf Foods, so which has sold quite a few sausages and they really pride themselves on being carbon neutral. So hopefully we'll get Darcy on the pod soon. But I think the biggest takeaway here for me is just that there is, roughly 200 plus awards were given across these categories, and only 35 to 40 went to food and beverage brands. So if that's like 15 to 20% of total awards, sure, there was a meaningful presence, but apparently there were a lot of entries that were food and bev related. And there were lots of things like Uber Eats had a big activation, DoorDash had a big activation. Food technology definitely has a place in mainstream consumer marketing. Obviously, we all use it all the time. But just want to kind of share that, I just think there's an opportunity here. I think that there's no reason why we should not be continuing to do more and more in this space. We at Noble West have won a few industry awards in the last couple months. Shout out to the team. And I think that really it's just about finding opportunity and doing incredible, and not just ag marketing, but doing incredible marketing across the board for hero food ingredients, because it is such a critical part of it. So, that's it for me today. I could go on and wax poetic on this forever, but I feel like if you have any questions, if you disagree with anything, will you please DM us at Farm to Fame or reach out to me on LinkedIn? Even blow up my comments. I am here for it. But again, thank you, and thanks to our clients who are affording us to have all these incredible experiences and to learn with, for, and alongside of you. So have a great day.